Hi guys, so today we're going to be making kombucha. I wanted this video to be really quick since I still have to go back to work, but I'm in the process of making a new batch, so I thought I'd videotape it so I can share it with my friends. I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining why you want to have kombucha or why you want to make it, other than the fact that, speaking for myself, I'm about to turn 54. I really felt like since I've been drinking kombucha, it has helped me a lot with my digestive systems. I've stopped taking all those multivitamins, and I just feel I feel healthy, and I feel very good. So I wanted to share with you how easy it is to make kombucha. So there might be some process here is a little bit of a reverse because I'm also going to bottle the batch that I already made 7 days ago, but let's see how it goes. So the first thing you need to do when you have kombucha is obviously you need to have the starter tea and the SCOBY, which stands for a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, which we're gonna get from the batch that I already made. And then we're gonna need black tea and sugar. So while I think in the interest of time, I'm gonna steep the tea while we're bottling the batch that I've already made, and then we're gonna get the SCOBY from this batch and use it to make a fresh batch of kombucha. So let me get this water. This is already boiled, and I'm gonna put 2 cups of water in this measuring glass, 2 cups, and then I will steep 10 bags of black tea. So 10, and we'll let it steep for about 10 minutes, and once it's steeped, we'll take the tea bags out, and then we will add a cup of sugar, which is already here, pre-measured. The original instructions that I got from the company who I got the original SCOBY said you need 6 bags of tea. Through experimentation, I just found that for me, I wanted it a little bit stronger, so that's how I ended up with 10 bags of black tea. And by the way, you can also do a combination of black tea and green tea. I prefer just pure black tea. So just make sure that this is all steeped in water. I am going to set that aside over here so it's not in the way, and the sugar is here. We will add that 10 minutes later once we take the tea bags out. And I'm going to go off camera while I clean up here. All right, so here's the brew that I did 7 days ago. The idea here is we're gonna take out the SCOBY, get some of the starter tea, create a new batch of kombucha, and then I'm gonna bottle it, and I'm gonna have it go through a second fermentation. And the second fermentation is where you add the flavor. What I have here is juiced grapes. So my husband likes to buy this big, sack of grapes, and like after he eats like a few of them and he's tired of it, so I juice them, and that's what I'm gonna use for flavoring. And then we'll let that sit for about 2 to 3 days for it to carbonate, because I like it a little bit fizzy. And then to start the fermentation, we would put it in the fridge. So I'm gonna put in gloves to make sure that we keep our SCOBY clean and the whole process sanitary. And you'll notice that in this gallon jar, you don't cover it with a lid. You basically have a cloth that's breathable, and then you just put rubber band around it so that the SCOBY can breathe. So I'm gonna set this aside. And now we're gonna take the SCOBY out from this brew. So I'm hoping you can see it. Let me block that light so you can see. And this jar has like a little strip that tells me what the temperature, because while you're brewing it, you want to keep it between 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So I am gonna just take my gloves real quickly. Okay. I am now gonna grab the SCOBY. So this is a living organism. That's living. That's the SCOBY. Yeah, a little closer. That's a living entity right there. I'm gonna put the SCOBY here. And then you'll see some little things that float. That's actually the bacteria that eats the sugar. That's okay. So leave it there. I'm going to get a couple of, actually about 1.5 cups of the starter tea. You know what? I actually want to stir it a little bit so that I get some of the bacteria in the starter tea, because the bacteria tend to settle at the bottom. So let's get about 1.5 cups. This is a 3/4 cup measuring cup. So it doesn't have to be exact. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more. So there you go. So now that is our starter tea for the new batch of kombucha. So I'm just gonna set that aside here for now. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start putting these in bottles, and the bottles need to be really tightly sealed. So here, let me just move this aside here, and I will fast forward this section when I finalize the video, so you don't have to watch me do this. Looks like I need more bottles, so here. I'm gonna try these. So the key thing to remember is make sure your bottles have a really tight seal. Okay, and I have a little bit left, not enough for a whole bottle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just actually gonna add it to the starter tea for the new batch. Okay, so there you go. So now I am going to add the flavor, which is just grape juice. You can use any other fresh juices. I like pomegranate, and I also like, by the way, I'm leaving just a little bit of room, like 1/2 inch, because I want it to be fizzy. As if there's not a lot of room, then in the second fermentation, the kombucha will be forced to like really carbonate and get fizzy. So what was I saying? Oh, so grape juice, pomegranate, raspberry. I've tried ginger. They're all good. But as much as possible, you want to use fresh juice. I bought one of those, artificial flavoring from Amazon. I did not like the result. Oops. I think I might have made it a little bit too full, so I'm just gonna, otherwise I don't want it to like be too full, and it might explode on me. Although these bottles are supposed to be really good, they can withhold pressure. Just know that while it's in the second fermentation, it is gonna build up pressure. There you go. So I am done with this juice. Now I'm just going to seal these bottles. And now I'm gonna let it ferment in room temperature for 2 to 3 days until it reaches the fizziness or carbonation level that I like. You'll notice that while it's doing its second fermentation, another SCOBY will form up on top. So just so you know, like when you're ready to drink it, if you don't like the slimy thing going down your throat, you might want to strain it first before you drink it out of the bottle. Okay, so I will set this aside because now we are going to make a fresh brew of kombucha. So let me put this here so they're out of the way. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got another gallon container which I filled with 8 cups of filtered water. And then because I need to make sure that the water is between 75 degrees to 85 degrees when I do the brew, I'm gonna add hot water to this that's also, using filtered water that has been boiled. But let's take this tea out that has been steeping. And I'm sure it's been more than 10 minutes. Throw it away. And then I'm gonna add the sugar, 1 cup of sugar. I know you're probably thinking, that's a lot of sugar, but the bacteria is gonna eat that. So good. Make sure that the sugar is stirred and melted before you add it to the water. So, because this is hot water, I don't want the water, I'm gonna add it first to the jar with the cold water and make sure that it's the right temperature before I add more hot water. So 8 cups of filtered cool water. Add the 2 cups of steep tea that has 1 cup of sugar. Oops, that doesn't fit. So let me find another ladle to stir it with. And you will notice that this jar also has a temperature strip. So right now it says 71 degrees. I don't know if you can see that. But I will add hot water, 2 cups of hot water to bring it to between 75 to 85. And I'm going to add it slowly because if it gets over 85 degrees, then you have to wait until the temperature goes down. So you'll do it a cup at a time. Okay, now it's going up to 75 degrees. I think it's safe to add a little bit more. Like I said, I've done this where it went past 85 degrees and it took half an hour for it to go down. So let's see, 79. Just add a little bit more. That's it. I'm afraid that it's gonna get too hot. So now it's 75 degrees. 79. Okay, so I think that's good. What I'm gonna do now is let us add the SCOBY. Just make sure it's the right temperature. I think I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna add just a little bit more because it can go up to 85. It's not gonna hurt it. There you go. Now it's 82. Okay, I am going to stop. So now I'm gonna add the SCOBY. Remember the SCOBY that we got earlier? I don't know if you can see it, so I'm just gonna grab it and drop it there. And I will add the starter tea. There you go. So the next thing you need to do is to make sure before you cover it and let it ferment for 3 to 7 days is to make sure that it's the right pH. It has to be lower than 4.5. So you can buy this pH test strips. But what I actually have here is, for the same amount of money, less hassle, is this pH tester here. I got this from Amazon. I'll list the resources in the video. So I'm gonna turn it on and I'm gonna stir it. Let me just rinse it real quick because it's been sitting on the table. Stir it so that the starter tea and the sweet tea are kind of mixed together. Oops. This SCOBY is now stuck on the thing. Okay. Now I'm going to test it. Just dip it. And right now it says 4.86, 4.8. I want it to be below 4.5. So let me rinse that. And I will add just a little bit of vinegar to bring the pH down. Okay, so what you'll notice is that if your starter tea has been brewed a while, because I have different brewing duration or cycle. So for my son, he likes it on the 3rd day, like he likes it still sweet. For my husband, it's 5 days, and for me, it's between 7 to 10 days. So the longer you let it ferment in the first brew, the acidic it's gonna get. So I'm just gonna have like, what is this? 1/4 of a teaspoon. Just see if it will bring the pH down. All right, let's see. And with that, it is now at, it's still thinking, 4.25. I'm gonna call it good. All right, let's call that good. And now I'm gonna cover it with a clean piece of cloth that's breathable, and then put the elastic band around it. Oops, hang on, let's try it again. There you go. And hang on tight there, because there's one thing that I want to show you. I have these wine glass markers, so I usually just would, so I won't forget. What's the date today? I don't know. Is it 26th? Oh gosh, I can't remember. I think it's the 28th. I'm just gonna put the 28. Just so I know to check it on the 3rd day, the 5th day, and the 7th day. If I were brewing this for myself, I would check on the 7th day. But I might make some for my son, which means I would want to bottle this on the 3rd day. So now that I have that, I put it on my kombucha station here where I have a heating mat. I'll move the camera in a minute and show you. So let me move the camera and show you where my kombucha brewing station is, which is basically just a bookshelf in the dining room. that has a, let's see, okay, here you go. I have several batches that's brewing right now. And there's a heating mat that keeps the temperature between 75 to 85 degrees. And like I said, that's why I put the date so I know when to check it. And this is just some SCOBY that's sitting there for as a backup in case something happens and I have to start all over again. At least I have a backup SCOBY. And with that, that's really it. That's how you make kombucha. And maybe things like I would, because I use different flavors, so things like that, I would say, okay, I really don't know what the date is today. I think it's the 28th. And then I'm gonna say grape. So I know that this is grape flavor. But otherwise, that's it, guys. That's how you make kombucha. Thank you very much.